So welcoming yourself here in this point in time. Feeling the effects of the last 6 months. And I know for me, when I reflect back in March to now, I see a profound shift and transformation. And although it might feel like everything has rolled into one and there's no concept of time, there are still those little snippets of those experiences that we've had that we can break up. Noticing our achievements, and that doesn't have to be physical achievements. I know sometimes we think that we're not actually doing anything, but in fact, sitting in stillness is actually doing a lot more collectively than what we give ourselves credit for. We've all experienced this time rather differently, but I believe that we have all received what it is that we need. Some of us have continued working, some of us were not working, some of us were forced to stay home with children, some of us were forced to stay home by ourselves to witness the shift in consciousness, to witness how the minds of those around us who we thought we knew well, maybe we're no longer aligned with our highest self. And recognizing that perhaps there are some things that we need to let go of, and that it's okay to let go of the reins so we're not holding on so tightly, to simply let go and surrender and to flow. To just see if you can feel yourself in that state of flow, either seated or laying down, just feeling this ebb and flow. As if you're floating through space and time, moving towards, moving away, feeling the energy, trusting and allowing. Breathing in, breathing out, and feeling yourself becoming formless. Where does the floor end? Where does the body end? Do you feel one with the earth? No distinction between body and earth, but this sensation that everything is one. Notice what you see through your closed eyes as you bring the awareness inwards more and more and more. Reflecting on your current state of being. Can you be fully accepting of everything that has played out in your life to bring you to this point in time? Can you see the absolute perfection in every experience that you've had for you to be here now? Continue feeling the ebb and the flow of your breath. The body softening and surrendering more. Letting go of ideas, beliefs, letting go of what was and not expecting things to be the same when we step back out. Even though people might appear the same on the surface, physically, knowing that so much has shifted inside each of us, and to be respectful of each individual's journey. Take 5 more breaths. Experiencing your own journey through these 5 breaths. And the journey forward, the journey begins with one single step. And when you complete your 5 breaths, keep your eyes closed, but allow your body to sway a little. If you're seated, you can just move the body. If you're on the earth, you can move a little side to side. You might start to draw knees into chest. You might drop knees side to side. You might take some circles through the body if you're seated. It doesn't matter where you are, but just that you start to notice that you are a physical and spiritual being. Not just 50% of each, but 100% of each, which can be a little hard for the mind to fathom, but 100% divine, 100% human. Start to move more and more. And then find your way to a tabletop position, hands and knees. You might have something on your mat, a blanket perhaps, to support the knees. And then once you get there, just take some circles through your pelvis, moving, circling, transferring the weight from one hand to the other. Just allow this gentle movement to get the energy flowing through the spinal column. Noticing the spine moving, flowing. Start to create some cat-cow flexion and extension. Maybe add some circles in between that. So just make organic movements, but notice how much you can move your spine. Just getting that energy flowing through the spine. Maybe moving forward back from a child's pose into a little bit of a back bend. A little bit of movement to awaken senses, to awaken the energy that flows along the spine as Kundalini. From that child's pose position, just tuck your toes under, walk your hands in. Stay with your toes tucked under. You can stay seated on your heels. You can come forward at any point. You can start to slide the hands on your thighs. But we're getting each of our toes underneath us, getting into the soles of the feet, Seiza pose. Just settling here in stillness now. Breathing in and out. Sensations shift, change, and morph. Even if the sensations shift, change, and morph, can your mind be indifferent to what you're experiencing and just allow the ebb and the flow? Drop in, feel, experience what it's like to be in a human body, to feel the bones in your feet, tiny little muscles, veins, lots of little bones as well. Maybe you notice sensations that you wouldn't normally feel or that are foreign or new. or sensations your mind would like to label as something other than what it is to get you out. All it is a sensation. We're not here for too much longer. 3 more breaths. Complete those breaths. Slide the hands under shoulders. Lift your feet gently off the floor. Let them just settle for a moment up in the air. And then give them a nice little tap if you feel to on the earth. Feel the blood flowing back through your feet. You might wish to cross the ankles and come to a seated position this way, or just come to a seat. Just cross your left leg in front of your right. Just take a little circling action for a moment through the hips and pelvis. One direction to begin with. And then notice what motivates you to switch and change directions. So we have the left leg crossed in front. You're going to create a nice loose diamond shape, or a loose square shape rather. And we are going to come into square pose. So we're going to bring the left ankle on top of the right knee area. You're going to bring that bottom shin forward a little. So your top shin and bottom shin are kind of parallel. Even if the knee's lifted, it's okay. But just to ensure that the buttocks is on the floor. If it's not and you're leaning to one side, sit up on a cushion or a block to just be able to receive a little more height and a little bit more comfort. If that's still not working and it's just completely uncomfortable, allow the foot to come forward so you're still in that shape and that you're still feeling something when you slowly start to come forward. If that's still pretty tricky and you want to try something different, it is a slightly different pose. You might get into the hamstring as well, but you can extend the leg out and then place the ankle on top of the thigh and come forward. So just choose whichever one works for you. We are targeting the glute area, so that gallbladder meridian point. Flex the feet. And then eventually just notice this slight gentle lean into the pose. It's just a slight gentle movement and instantly you'll notice a sensation. Drop into that as you close your eyes. And now relax the feet. Notice if they the foot slides off to where you had it first. Know that that's what your body wants. That's the beauty of yin. We relax, we fall into it. More and more the body starts to come forward. If you need support and you have bolsters, you can bring a bolster in front of you. You can rest the hands upon. You can turn it up on its side so you can rest the forehead there as well. We keep the journey an inward journey in yin. We focus on the breath, the center of the eyebrows perhaps, as a drishti. So it's an inner turning of the eye gaze. Just ensuring that your breath is always continuous. Not rushed or forced, but soft and smooth. The key is to just breathe. Not just here in this pose when we feel discomfort arising, but also in life. To remember to stop and to breathe. To know that the most important person is you in your life. It starts with you. self-care for you before you can care for others. And too often we put other people's needs before our own. Maybe we feel burnt out, underappreciated or undervalued when we do those things. But if we first and foremost gave back to ourselves, we fill up our tank, our energy bank, to have that endless supply to give, to be of service, that selfless act of giving or savor. Maybe the body brings you forward more, maybe more of a heavy head. Notice how far you come when you step out of the way, when you let go of ideas, expectations, and beliefs. Can you still feel yourself floating through time and space? This big, beautiful, floating sensation in the vastness, in the void, in the spaces between thoughts. Can you feel your body and breath as one? Scan your body. Is there tension? Can you soften more and more and even more still? If your body wishes to rock to one side, don't refrain from that natural response. There's a lot to learn when we surrender. When we let go of right, wrong, good, bad, should be, all of those conditioned patterns, learned behaviors that clearly we are breaking away from to create a new world, a beautiful new future. What do you envision? What do you see? Keep your energy high. I'm not here for very much longer. Can you drop in a little deeper? Can you explore unexplored territory? Can you drop into a place that you've never been to before? Can you challenge your mind, your body? Can you witness and be still for 5 more breaths? Take your time, breathe slowly. Journey upwards in slow motion. See if you can challenge yourself to come up even slower than what you would normally. Let this take at least 30, 40 seconds, maybe even more. Use the hands. Feel yourself back up to a neutral spine, and then maybe shifting back to release the legs, or maybe using the hands as a little assistance. And then come to rebound, which is laying on the back, minimal movement. So try not to take any unnecessary movement, just enough to unfurl the legs and come to lay down and be still. Instantly, as we unfurl, we feel this sense of relief and support. Maybe a sensation in the buttocks, glutes. Just feel it, a pulse of light, of energy. Breathe. Feel the tingles. Feel the sensations. Gently draw the knees into the chest, or maybe just start by bending the knees. That might be the journey first. And then eventually knees into chest. Give them a little squeeze. Rock a little side to side, some circles, just organic, authentic movement. No right, no wrong. Just bring both hands to your knees. Just bring the knees out wide. Bring them forward, in, and then out and around. So just creating these circles at the hips, just by using the hands on the knees to create that movement. And then you'll take the circles in the opposite direction. It's getting nice and deep into that groin area. And then from here, draw the knees into the chest, extend the legs up to the ceiling. Just release the arms back behind you, just roll your ankles. They might roll in together and then out. And then you're going to try rolling them both together or opposites. So there's lots of ways that we can move the feet. We tend to move them in one way. So you can roll the toes and ankles in a clockwise direction and then anti-clockwise. And then one anti-clockwise, one clockwise. Let the legs drip upwards as you just move your ankles, your ankle joints. And then you're going to point and flex the feet together. Left and right pointing, left and right flexing. Just slow. You can look at your feet as they move, or you can keep your eyes closed. And now you're going to alternate, one flexing, one pointing. Notice the sensations in your feet, the blood flowing down your legs. And now bend your knees, bring your hands behind the back of your thighs. See if you can add a little rock to your seated position. So we can come into square pose on the opposite side. If not, roll to one side and then cross your right leg in front of your left. Create some circles before we take our square pose. Slow and gentle, letting there be this sense of ease. One way, the other way, maybe back in that first direction. And so we're creating a loose cross-legged position. So you can bring the shins forward and then you can stack the ankle on the knee and then stack the shins. And this side might be very different. You might be leaning extremely over onto the left side. You might need to support the hip. You might need to sit up on a block. It might also be nice just to keep a block between the knee and the ankle. You might extend that bottom leg or just keep the leg in front. You might start somewhere and evolve somewhere else. You might have the bolster that you're going to use or not. Meet yourself where you are and just be there for a moment or two before thinking that you have to create the same shape that you did on the first side. And eventually what will happen is you'll just gently tip forward. Slow, gentle movement. You pause, you observe, you reassess. After a few breaths, you might notice on an exhalation, you're taken further and further. And that's not happening because your ego says, I can go deeper, I'm so good, so flexible. It's just your breath, your body ebbing and flowing into this, into the depths of your soul, to experience your body knowing that we are only restricted by our mind, our thoughts. Yes, we might have physical limitations, but often it's the mind that gives way first. Mind saying we can or we can't or not good enough. And then we fall into the story. Rewire your brain. Create new neural patterns. Start to see the world differently. Now is the time. As we move into a whole new way of being, a whole new way of interacting, having love and compassion for others, for the differences, for all of our opinions, valuing each and every mind, each and every soul. For if we weren't different, then why would we be created that way? We would all be the same. That is not so. Keep breathing, keep feeling yourself soft in your shape. Do you lean to the left? Do you lean to the right? Or are you trying to create something? Let go of the need to know, the need to get it right, the need to be in a particular place. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. Start where you are, meet yourself where you are. Watch what unfolds, experience each moment. Maybe the head comes heavier. Maybe you come even further forward than you thought you would. Just be, breathe with a light inner smile, an outer smile. You might create a mantra or use your breath to help you with the mantra. As you breathe in, I have arrived. And as you breathe out, I am home. I have arrived. As you breathe in, I am home. As you breathe out, just keep softening more and more. Breathing in, I have arrived. Breathing out, I am home. Soft jaw as you breathe. Let the tension dissolve, melt away. Be here now, physically, mentally, emotionally. What is present for you? Is there more space? Is there a sense of deep connection, dropping in, the aha moments that we experience from time to time? A moment where the penny drops and everything's crystal clear. We've just come out of a 9-night journey of the goddess Durga, the festival being Navaratri. It's the worship of the goddess, the feminine energy, and the celebration of the light over darkness. Seems to be the theme throughout all of life, existence, light and dark. Maybe you've noticed that in your relationships. Maybe you see or have seen that battle in people at the moment. Looking at somebody and wondering who they are and what's taken over, what's taken them over. When we keep our vibration high, we keep our energy high, we keep ourselves protected. And it might just sound like something that we say, but when you start to feel it and experience it, it becomes real, it's true, it doesn't have to be seen. There's going to be a few more moments to drop in a little deeper if you can. And then when you get to that point where you feel that you want to just pause in that place, you're going to take 5 quality breaths. Keeping your energy light and pure through your actions, your thoughts, your words. Not giving in to the lower vibrational energies that are all around us right now. How do you wish to respond? The choice is always yours. Count those 5 quality breaths. Feeling the depth of which you've reached. The journey as you come up is a long, slow journey. It's not a rush. It's almost like you're coming up slowly to see what there is to see after the dust has settled. We slowly start to come up. We peer above the surface to a whole new world, to a whole new way of seeing, creating and being. We're going to come back onto our backs. So again, just a slow journey, minimal movement, so you can just come onto the back. The rebound is important in our yin practice. The stillness is important just to feel and to integrate. You might notice the lower back, the buttocks, the pulse of life through. Just witness it, feel it, experience it. I am home. I have arrived. And just start to wriggle your fingers and your toes. And then just extend your arms up to the ceiling this time and just move your wrists. Same as what we did with the feet. Just notice the wrists moving, which way they've started to move. Mine are moving one clockwise, one anti-clockwise, and then do the other way. So it's not just wrist, you might even feel the arm bones moving. And then move the wrists both in a clockwise direction. It might feel a bit weird, a bit strange to try and get that action. And then the other way, circling the wrists in both directions. And then point and flex those wrists. You're just moving those palms up, down. Notice the wrist. You might even feel the sensation through your arms. And then just cross your right arm over your left, grab a hold of your shoulders and try to wriggle your fingers right underneath those shoulder blades. You can keep the legs extended or you can bend them if you prefer. And then just soften the shoulder blades down towards your hips. And then just start to pull your elbows down towards your pubic bone. Just notice that shoulder region. Keep a tight hold and a squeeze. Pulling the elbows down. Now either stay here or release the hands from the shoulders. See if you can wrap your wrists and maybe bring your palms together. And notice how that feels. Slide your elbows down, maybe your shoulders down. Maybe move a little side to side. Start to bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the earth, and then just drop the knees side to side as you kind of move the arms a little. So just getting into those shoulders a little. Maybe the head rolls along the earth. And then come back to center, free the arms out wide and just let them sit on the earth. Toe heel your feet wide, drop your knees in together. Just feel the pulse and sensations through your arms, your hands, your fingers. And then reach your arms up above, interlock your fingers, press your palms up to the ceiling. And then just slowly releasing the biceps beside ears, hands back behind you. And then slowly lifting the arms up and then down towards the hips. Knees can be bent or straight. Inhale, reaching the arms up, interlaced hands, palms facing outwards. And then just keep moving here, noticing the arm bones. Inhaling, lift, up and back. Exhaling. Let's do that one more time, and then we'll just meet with the arms up above. And we'll be releasing the interlock of the hands. And then this time you're just going to cross the left arm over the right. Try to really grab a hold of those shoulder blades. You can actually feel them. And then just from there, just notice if your shoulders are pulling up. Just try to relax the shoulders, pull them down. Draw the chin into the chest. Knees can be straight or bent. You can take a few breaths here. You can stay. Or you can start to see if you can find that eagle bind of the arms where we wrap, getting into the shoulders. From there, we will all eventually bend the knees if they're not already bent. And then again, you're just going to just create a little bit of a rock, a little movement through the upper body, the lower body. They might move together in opposite directions. So one right way, it's just to feel the body. You might want to slide the elbows in. You might want to draw them up just to see how that feels. And then just come back through to center. Just free the arms out wide. Draw your knees into your chest. And then you're just going to drop your knees gently over towards the right elbow. So if you feel that you need support, bring your props, your blocks, your bolsters over to the right side. But start with bent knees and then bring them across. Set myself a little altar right in front of my mat, which probably wasn't a good idea. So let me just create a bit more space here. So as you drop the knees over, you can either place something under the knees to support you, bolster, cushion, block. Some of you might extend that top leg out and maybe even slide the right foot towards the left. Some of you might kind of start with holding onto the foot, or you might bring a hand on a knee, or you might have a bolster between the legs, but you're creating a twist. And it might evolve into a very different twist. You might want to take it into cat pulling its tail, which is where we start by holding the feet with opposite hands. And that's a little bit more yang. And then eventually, once you let go of the feet, you just kind of flop into that place. So go ahead and create a twist, starting with the knees pulled in and then dropping them to the right, and then seeing where you land from there. Letting the breath guide you into that place. The breath is your teacher, your guru. You are your own teacher, your own guru. We all have the wisdom within us. Sometimes we seek externally for validation to the answers that are already within us. Tune into that place, that which we call perhaps our higher self. It's beyond the intellect. It's just this all-pervasive knowing our truth, knowing our divinity, knowing, feeling and experiencing this union, this oneness. Feeling the chills that come through you when you have that recognition. Feeling that deep vibration. Feel your whole body making a sigh, a deep exhalation. And that's actually been what I've felt. Woke up this morning, went to bed last night with this collective exhalation. It was like this, oh, wow, got through one thing. And I know it's not the end, but it's this sense of exhaling. A beautiful sigh of relief of I made it. And really acknowledging what you've been through. Not dismissing it, not downplaying it. It's easy to do. But experiencing the realness of what you have experienced, knowing that it's valid. That we don't need the validation from someone else. Someone else might tell us that we're crazy. We might think that somebody else is crazy. Again, we are just labeling. Respect one another. Respect yourself in these changing times as we metamorphose. Keep breathing through your spine. Perhaps your head turns in one direction or the other direction. Eliminate any expectation, any holding on. Eliminate any desires to create a shape, to create anything, just desires in general. What would it feel like to be in that place without those desires, those compulsions, those unhealthy, unconscious behaviors? Keep the eyes closed. What do you sense? What do you feel? How far have you traveled? What have you seen in those depths? What nuggets of wisdom do you carry with you from those experiences, from those dark, trying times? We need to travel to the darkness in order to experience the light. It is all about balance. Just taking 5 more breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe a sigh on one of those breaths or a few of those breaths just to give you full permission to let go even more. Deeper and deeper. Journeying into self. Who can do it better than you? Only you know the way. When you complete your 5 breaths, slowly again journeying slower than what you think. Allow the exit point to be like a pose that brings you up and outright slowly, lovingly. And then just unravel, release, come on to the back, rebound. Stillness, as tempting as it is to want to move, can you persist in being still? Can you witness the fluctuations of the mind? The desires to come out, to move, to fast, to fidget? Can you witness that and be still anyway? Can you smile at all of those vrittis, mind stuff, that try to pull you out like a child, niggling at you, until maybe you give in or explode or react? And even if you do respond, react, no judgment. It happened. Let it go. Smile at that also. Smile at what it means to be human. Inside of this body with all of our emotions, all of our experiences, our experiences that make us grow stronger. Slowly start to wriggle, move, stretch, yawn again. Do what you feel you need. We will be taking it in a moment to the other side, knowing that we will be balancing it in a moment. But just wriggle, move any way that you feel to. And we'll be starting with the knees into the chest with the feet lifted and arms out wide. So you want to bring the knees towards the left elbow. So they're kind of pulled in as you take it into the twist rather than with the feet flat. And then from there, you can use your props. So again, you're moving everything to the other side. You might just stay in that tight little ball kind of twist. You might extend the top leg out and work into cat pulling its tail. So if you're starting in that position, it is a little bit more yang because you're holding feet. Once you get into that position, you can just softly release and just notice where the feet slide to. You might use the bolster between the legs or resting the inner thigh on the leg. The inner thigh on the block rather. So you're taking the knees to the left. So the twist we're receiving is that right side, or you might feel it in all areas there. And then again, settle, maybe palms face upwards. Maybe head starts to fall to one side. Might take a few breaths to settle, to get comfy, to get the bolster in the right place. Eventually it will. And then your breath settles, your mind stills. Thoughts might come and go, but the challenge is just to witness them. Come back to your breath, use your mantra. I have arrived, breathing in. I am home, and breathing out. See if you can float effortlessly in the void. See if you can remain in the space between your thoughts longer and longer. You might float there for just a moment until the next thought comes in, that you start to see it. You're in the stillness, and then you can almost catch that thought wanting to come in. You smile at that, and there it is. But we notice it. We notice how amazing the mind is, the brain is, the body is. The more we practice observing, breathing, meditation, yoga, the greater the spaces between the thoughts become. The more and more we experience the present moment. The only moment that ever matters is this one right now, not the one that was, this one, this moment, this breath, and then this moment, and then this breath, and then again this breath. Always focusing on the breath, the one that is now, leaving behind the past, not anticipating future. Breathing, expanding your consciousness, your awareness, contracting, the ebb and the flow of life. The ebb and flow of the universe, universal nature of all things. We are not separate, we are one. The damage that we do to Mother Earth, we do to ourselves. Perhaps we are simply seeing the repercussions of our actions through our unconscious behaviors. And perhaps that one tiny little thing is the thing that pushes us to that point, to the universe to that point. Like that saying, the straw that broke the camel's back, just that one tiny light piece of straw. So too our actions, our thoughts, our words. Knowing that every little action, as small as it might seem, can move us in a particular direction. depending on the quality of your thought. Whether it be for the good of all of humanity or whether it be your own selfish reason. You choose where you wish to direct your awareness and your attention. No one can tell you what feels good for you. But we all know where our hearts are aligned, when our hearts are aligned. We can create miracles. There's a little more space. Move a little deeper. Take 5 more breaths. Slow, soft, gentle breaths. Slow journey, gentle back to neutral, rebound on your back. Taking 30 seconds or more to get there. Land. There might be an instant sigh, a sound, a complete support of Mother Earth underneath you as you feel the energy flowing through your body, as you feel yourself lighting up from the inside. This ultraviolet iridescent light bursting through your skin, and feeling that rippling around you, creating this positive vibration. And that's all it takes to sit in stillness, to feel that and to create that outwards. It's in the non-doing where the magic happens, in the stillness, in the space between thoughts, between breaths. Feel the dance of yourself. Give thanks to your body. Ask it what it needs. Is it happy to stay without moving, keeping the rebound flowing, moving through you? Or do you feel to support yourself with a prop, to grab a blanket, an eye pillow, to dim some lights? Ask the body. And then take action if action is required. Be still and feel, breathe and be. Just feeling the ebb and the flow of each breath. Let yourself drift into non-doing, where we create that ripple effect through the vibration of our soul, our heart. And keeping your expanded awareness, keeping yourself a clear, pure conduit, keeping yourself protected by either visualizing a white light around you at times, by wearing protective crystals, or anything else that you feel calls for you. There's no way that you can do it wrong. I like to visualize white light as I travel through my day into certain environments where I know there are other energies, and perhaps you notice that you too have sensitivity, or maybe more so now. Begin to deepen your breath a little, even just practicing envisioning a white light around you, just keeping your energetic field expanded. You might envision it arm's length all around you. Maybe it's even wider. Know that no one can come through, nothing can come through unless you allow it. Start to wriggle, move, stretch, yawn, feel your body. Come back home to you. Taking all the time that you need to come up into a seat. And again, that might take 30 seconds or more, a minute even. There's no hurry. What's the rush? Slowing down is what we've been asked to do by Mother Nature. You have to smile at that gift and be appreciative, even if we have been forced to step out of our comfort, which all of us have. No one is exempt. And once you're up in your seat, bring your hands to your heart. Send your energy outwards to the collective, to the less awakened, to perhaps the ones who might need our understanding and support now, having compassion, putting into practice the tools that we learn on our mat, being the teacher that you are. Bring your thumbs to the center of your eyebrows for light and understanding, to your lips for always speaking your truth, and to your heart, finding that compassion and that love for all of humanity, your brothers and your sisters. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you. Blessings. Journey well.